Hi everyone, my name is Adam G and welcome to my new YouTube channel, Adam G ESC, where I will talk about everything related to the Eurovision Song Contest. I decided to set up this channel to give my thoughts and views on the contest itself, its songs, and predictions on what I think will happen in various aspects. Obviously the national final season is well over and all of the 2025 entries have been confirmed at this stage. So I think this is now the perfect opportunity to start creating content, as I would have to wait for nearly a year if I end up starting this channel after the 2025 contest. But don't worry, as I will give my thoughts on all the 2025 entries in a future video, so keep an eye out for that. Before I begin this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and feel free to leave a comment down below on any thoughts and any future ideas you would like to see me cover on this channel. This is not really the best way to set up a video, I know. The lighting's not great because of this window. The audio might be a bit echoey, mainly because of this room, and I don't really have any sort of like special audio equipment with me, but at least I have a decent camera. So for my first video on this channel, I thought I might as well do a little introduction on my experiences with the Eurovision Song Contest and what it means to me personally. For those who are getting to know me for the first time, I am from Ireland, I'm autistic, and I'm also under the non-binary umbrella. And you can probably see my pronouns somewhere up on the screen right now. So now that you know the basics about me, now I'm going to list my first memories of watching the Eurovision Song Contest. From as far as I can remember, I first watched the Eurovision Song Contest in 2006. But that's mainly because of a memory that is completely unrelated to Eurovision itself. When Lorde released the song Royals in 2013, it was playing all over the radio. And once I heard about her, I instantly got reminded of another band called Lordi, which sounded incredibly familiar to me, but I couldn't figure out who they actually were. It only took me until a year later to figure out that they were the winners of the 2006 contest with the song Hard Rock Hallelujah. I also remember seeing Dustin and Turkey participate for Ireland in the 2008 contest, and this blew my mind because I was obsessed with watching Dustin and Turkey on the TV. Yes, international fans, he was a massive deal in Ireland even before Eurovision. The Den was a children's programming block that aired on RT2, and I basically watched the shit out of that station when I was a kid, and Dustin used to always make me laugh hysterically. He is the perfect example of a comedic genius that very well represents what Irish people are like on a social level. And of course, Irlande du Spa might not be everyone's cup of tea, but it is absolutely one of the best choices Ireland has ever made over the past 2 decades, given our current track record. However, my first real memory of watching the Eurovision Song Contest is when Jedward represented us in 2011 with Lipstick. Just like Dustin and Turkey, I also knew Jedward beforehand when they participated in the X Factor. And I also had a mad obsession with them, particularly with their hairstyles and their cheeky charisma whenever they perform on the show. And I've also been rooting for them whenever they went into Eurovision in 2011, giving us a top 10 results. Regarding my thoughts on Waterline, I also thought that was really good, but I wasn't really that invested in Eurovision at the time being. Now that I've discussed my first memories of the contest, I'm going to move on to my highlights of growing up with the Eurovision Song Contest throughout the years. The first year I fell in love with Eurovision is in 2014. This is the first time I've started to take an interest into observing all the other entries outside of Ireland, and 2014 had a lot of bangers. The one song that stood out to me the most at the time was Greece's entry, Rise Up by Freaky Fortune. This was also the period where I started to get into dance music in general, and I just thought the whole vibe of the song and the performance was incredibly fun. Other highlights from that year include Hungary, Armenia, Romania, and Spain. This particular year opened me up to discover how diverse the music was in the contest and how its music connects and unites people, which I thought was a wonderful concept. And no, I am not being paid by the EBU to say this, by the way. With my initial thoughts on Rise Like a Phoenix that year, I wasn't really too keen on the song, but I still think Conchita First was an incredible winner. I have grown to be an even bigger Eurovision fan in 2018, when I started to look back on past contests and have discovered a lot of iconic entries that I've missed out on over the years. 2018 was also the one year where I started listening to a whole bunch of Eurovision songs on a daily basis, as the 2018 contest was also iconic within itself. I just thought there were a lot of songs that were well produced and had some really intriguing staging concepts. Some of my favourites from that year included Switzerland, Australia, Cyprus, Hungary, and Romania. My love for Eurovision especially started to grow throughout this decade, as the quality of songs and the competitive nature of the contest has increased by a large margin in contrast to the 2010s. And I feel like this momentum is still growing even now, despite all the controversies that have taken place in recent years. Yes, 2024, I am specifically looking at you. This leads me on to my next section of the video, which is my favourite Eurovision year. Without a doubt, my favourite Eurovision year was 2023. This is the one year where I started to get myself invested into a lot more songs than I usually do in a typical Eurovision year. I also think the quality of songs is just out of this world. Like, there is such a wide variety of well-produced bops, high-energy rock, breathtaking ballads, and of course, a fuck ton of quirky songs, and they were all produced in the best possible way. And this was also the first year I visited the host country during the contest, and that week will always hold a special place in my heart, as the atmosphere was just incredible, and the people that I've met and spent time with there were all so lovely. You know who you are. I ended up seeing the grand final in the M&S Bank Arena, and I watched the grand final in Eurovision Village, which is quite possibly the greatest experience of my life. It was that good of a year. And now this is the part of the video where I list my top 5 favourite Eurovision songs, so that you can all get to know my music taste a little bit more. However, I won't be including any 2025 entries as the season is still ongoing, and I just want to prevent any sort of recency bias until after the contest. My 5th favourite Eurovision song is Look Away by Darude and Sebastian Rehman. Yes, I know, this is not a popular entry at all, but I just love Darude. He is such an iconic DJ that has provided so many bangers. Sandstorm, Feel the Beats, Out of Control, you name it. Even if the songwriting is generic, it is still written about a universal topic, and I just admire the production of it so much. Another main reason why I love the song is because I first joined the fandom in 2019, and pretty much my main personality back then was being the one die-hard Look Away stan, and I will forever be proud of that achievement. My 4th favourite Eurovision song is Lights Off by We Are Dummy. I love a good dance bop. I love a good indie bop. This is a combination of both. This also takes me back to 2016, which is such an incredible year for this kind of chill dance music in general. Also, Dummy's voice is just phenomenal. Yearning to rediscover the love that she lost in this heart-touching song. And when she hits those high notes during the beat drop of the chorus, perfection. My 3rd favourite Eurovision song is We Will Rave by Colleen. I love to rave, I love to dance, I love dance music. Starting to see the trend here? It's easily one of the best modern songs to recreate the true feeling of 90s Eurodance music, which I absolutely adored growing up with over the past decade. It also perfectly describes how I deal with bad situations, by basically just letting everything go and have a little rave no matter where I am. Yes, I even do this alone in my room. But hey, if the group says it's okay, then why not? My 2nd favourite Eurovision song is a bit of an oldie, which is This Is My Life by Euroband. It so perfectly describes how much I've grown over the years and learned to accept myself for who I am, which is why this is such a personal song to me. Also, have I mentioned that the song really bangs? And now last, but absolutely not the least, my favourite Eurovision song of all time is Cha 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 by Carrier. Just because of how out there it is. I was so overwhelmingly shook when I first heard it. Like, I was unable to process on whether I liked it or not. I was fully on board with the song, and it completely changed my mindset on the kind of music I love to look into in general. It's quirky, it's wacky, it's fun, and chaotic as hell. I also love the randomly heavy combination of rap, rock, and techno, and it fits so well with Carrier's artistry. This also plays into another reason why I love the 2023 Song Contest so much, and it is clearly a game changer when it comes to where Eurovision is heading throughout the decade. It is also proof that songs with joke elements can also be taken seriously. So that's the end of my little introduction video of me as a Eurovision fan. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this video gives you a little teaser for what's to come on this channel over the next 2 months, and I cannot wait to share this journey with you all. Do stick around for more content, and as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment down below reflecting anything I've mentioned in this video, or let me know what kind of videos I should do in the future. Anyway, that's the end of the video, and hopefully I will see you all next time. Goodbye!